Welcome back. This is Lecture 2, Unified Modeling Language, which is UML in short. Okay. The Unified Modeling Language is a standard visual modeling language intended to be used for modeling business and similar processes and analysis, design, and implementation of software-based systems. UML is a common language for business analysts, software architects, and developers used to describe, specify, design, and document existing or new business processes, structure, and behavior of artifacts of software systems. Notice it's a common language for business analysts, software architects, and developers. So you computer science students will fall here, whereas business major students will fall there, right? Sometimes people learn both and then specialize and so on and so forth. But what does all this mean? UML is a way of visualizing a software program using a collection of diagrams. Now, you have already seen a few UML diagrams. This is an example of a UML diagram. Notice diagram, we draw a design. So this was an example of a class with inheritance, hierarchy, right? This was the parent class, these were the children class, these are further children of this class, and so on. This design has to be decided before you start coding. So when a business person comes to you, wants some way of designing a class for their employees, well, you and the business owner will sit together and make such designs on paper first to know what the business owner wants from you. So this is an example of a UML drawing. There is something like these. These are also UML drawings. This is a sequence diagram. So this is another form of UML drawing. So a business person comes to you and says, I want such an interaction. I want a professor to be able to enroll a student in a specific class, and the student should be able to find out how many hours there are, and so on, right? So if you're working for our college, you should be able to discuss with someone what they want before you even start coding. So that's why UML drawings are something that both software architects and developers as well as business analysts want to know. They want to describe, specify, design, and document existing processes or new processes, their structure, their behaviors, and so on. Okay. Now, anyone who wants to design and document or specify, they will have their own way of thinking. But what if you are working for a company which has a branch, say somewhere in Europe, and you want to collaborate with somebody sitting in Europe while you are sitting in the US? You have a design, they should be able to understand your design. In other words, the design must have you must have a way of drawing pictures in such a fashion that anyone sitting anywhere in the world can understand what you're talking about. Hence the name unified. So there were several diagram approaches that different people had, different groups had, different researchers had. Unified way of modeling is UML. Okay, so this notation UML has evolved from the work of Grady Book and James Rumbaugh, Ivar Jacobson, and the Rational Software Corporation to be used for object-oriented design. So precisely the kind of designs we would be interested in our course. Okay. So unified so that everyone understands. Now, look, we haven't even started coding. UML is used for any language, no matter which language you choose to start coding. It has been extended to cover a wider variety of software engineering projects. Okay, UML has now been extended to cover a wider variety of software engineering products. Today, UML is accepted by the Object Management Group, OMG, as the standard. So you do need to learn UML, okay, because it is a standard for modeling software development. The current UML standards call for 13 different types of diagrams. These types of diagrams are classified into two distinct groups: 6 in the structural and 7 in the behavioral. So, what are structural UML diagrams? They are the static view. Okay, as the name suggests, structure talks about structure, what all things, right, should be present in the system being modeled. So here we have the following. You have class diagram, package diagram, object diagram, component diagram, composite structure diagram, and deployment diagram. So there are 6 different diagrams. Okay. Whereas behavior is not about things, but it is about what happens, that is action. Okay. So instead of static means stays put in one place. Dynamic means changes. Okay. Structure means about things. Behavior means how they behave. Okay. So think of it this way: in English, we talk about nouns and verbs. All right. So we talk about objects and we talk about methods, or what action, basically action, activity diagram, sequence diagram, and so on. Behavior diagrams emphasize what must happen in the system being modeled. Here we have the following: activity diagram, sequence diagram, use case diagram, state diagram, communication diagram, interaction overview diagram, timing diagram. Okay, so 6 here and 7 here. Notice more can be learnt about UML, okay, in these websites that I have given you. Okay, they are very, I found the smart draw to be very useful. Okay, Wikipedia is of course very useful. All right, now we will use very few: class diagram, activity diagram, sequence diagram, and state diagram. In other words, class diagram is the only structure diagram. Class diagram is the only structural UMLs, whereas activity, sequence, and state are the behavioral. Activity, sequence, and state are the behavioral ones. To draw this, you could use diagram editor. If you want to use download dia from the website mentioned here on your computer. I prefer UML8. It is easy, UML8, okay? And recently, there is an online version. So what do? I just go Google search UML online, okay? You can just go to UML8, search for it, look at that, okay? So now when you go to UML8, it is a free UML tool. You can download, etc., but I don't worry about download. There is a online, where is the online? I think, yeah, that's the online version. Okay, it's right there in the front. Okay, so once it's a free online UML tool. You go there. Where did it go? Start UML at right? So I hope it's clear. You go to umlet.com, go to the online version, right? Now start UMLet now. So that's what got me here. You see pictures here, you see information here, and this is where the picture will come. Okay, properties are here. Now here are many options. You go onto the top, UML common elements, you will see an option menu, correct? So you have several cases here, several options here. Sequence diagram, activity diagram. The ones we need are class, activity, sequence, and state diagram. Okay, so let's start with the class, correct? You see pictures here. Now, how do I make, this is where my drawings will come. Okay, so say I want a simple class, right? So I will take this, clicked on it twice, got me here. How do I change things? That's where properties are. Look, I can move this up and down. Okay, so this is my first example, fat class, some properties. So say I will erase all this and I'll call it my class. You notice how it got fixed there? Those two dashes is what gives me this line. For a class, I have name here, and the second rectangles are variables, instance variables go there, and the third rectangle gets me methods. I don't need these responsibilities class, so I'll simply erase this. Okay, so it's gone. All right, so that's how you would draw. So have a look at this online. There is so much here. Okay, no one can possibly teach you. No one can possibly teach everything there is, but the more you play with this, more you will understand. So my suggestion, play with this. Okay, say I wanted diagram there, an arrow rather, I got it here, right? And I can move it about and so on. Okay, so have a look at this particular website, umlet.com. Okay, and then we'll come to the next part of the lecture. Until then.